you know that you have no diamond losers at all, right? On the other hand, I'd probably like the hand a little better if my ace of diamonds were, say, ace doubleton of clubs. And then just have a small diamond. And I say that only because of what's in the dummy on this particular hand. Yeah, so like ace of clubs opposite king queen would mean that's one fewer time that we have to give up the lead. And we wouldn't even really need dummies queen, ace doubleton opposite king third. We'd have no club losers even with that holding. And then we'd have, let's say a little diamond, and they'd make us rough once, and then we'd have to give up the lead and they could make us rough again, but then we'd be safe drawing trump knowing that we wouldn't have to give up the lead to the ace of clubs. The problem with this particular hand, obviously, is having to give up the lead 3 different times. And in some ways, yeah, I mean, it's different. Yeah, that's the same. It's the same kind of thing we worry about a lot of times in no trump, like when the defense is attacking a suit that we're, their long suit and they're trying to set up winners there. What do we fear and why do we use the hold up play? It's to prevent them from gaining the lead, right? Or cutting off communications. So as far as evaluating this hand, I would still like to be in game on these cards. And by the way, even a 3-1 trump split, you'd have no problem on this hand. They couldn't force you, right? They could make you rough a couple of times, but you wouldn't have to draw trump in 4 rounds. You could draw trump in 3 rounds, which preserves 1 more trump in your hand to handle those diamond roughs. So I actually think, this is a really good game to be in. And it's the kind of hand, I don't know, as far as evaluating it, let's see. I don't know. I mean, how would this auction go? In theory, you might end up in hearts on a hand like this. You have a 9-card spade fit. You also have an 8-card heart fit. But I think you're going to run into problems in hearts too.
If you had a doubleton diamond and a singleton club, is there any advantage to holding off and taking the ace?
I mean, once they get off to a diamond lead, you're going to have a diamond loser. So you could duck it the first time.
I don't know if that would delay.
I don't know that it would help you.
Yeah. Well, if West only had 3, which you don't know.
I think so. What I might do in that kind of situation, because sometimes it's helpful not to give away your distribution right away if the defenders may not know it. So I think if I had ace doubleton of diamonds and a singleton club, what I would be inclined to do if they led the king of diamonds, I'd be like, okay, well, they're going to win their diamond. At some point, they're going to get in. They're going to get in with the ace of trump, and they're probably going to cash their diamond. That's going to be the next thing you do. So what I might do is go ahead and win the ace on the opening lead, and then in that case where I had a singleton club, I would immediately lead a club up to the king-queen and see if they duck. Now here the ace of clubs isn't on side, right? So they're going to cover the king or queen. It's not going to work. But it could be that your left-hand opponent has the ace and plays second hand low on the club the first time, and guess what? You sneak a club through, and now you don't have a club loser. Probably doesn't hurt to try, right? Look, sometimes you just, now in that case, maybe they shouldn't be playing second hand low, but sometimes you catch a defender napping. So, maybe Nina's over here thinking about what she's going to get for lunch, and she doesn't take her ace of clubs, and then she goes home with it. So,
with only 2 clubs on West, wouldn't you be tempted to play second hand low?
If I had ace doubleton?
Yeah.
I would actually, if I had ace doubleton, I'd be more inclined to take it just to get out of my own way. I'd be worried about then being thrown in with another club and potentially starting to run out of leads on this hand. Sometimes it's a good idea just to get out of your own way. But again, here it's not going to matter. And at some point, I do a class on this. At some point, we might want to talk about. We might want to devote a class to. In fact, did I have this? I may have had this in the original draft syllabus. I do a class on deception by declare, because sometimes you end up in what is probably a hopeless contract, at least looking at the dummy and at your hand, thinking, well, I'm in 4 spades and I can't see any way around these 4 losers. But what you can sometimes come up with is, sometimes you can pull a swindle, get the defenders to make a mistake. In fact, I can finish with this in a few minutes. I can give you just such a hand, just because it's one of my all-time favorites. Now, I don't know that this would have worked at your average club game. This was actually something that was far more effective with very high caliber players. But they had an auction. This was a regional, like a Fly Day Swiss teams at a regional in St. Louis, I think. So the opening bidder had bid a diamond, and his partner had bid a heart. The opener, I believe, jumped to 3 spades. We all know what that is, right? Because we talked about it a few weeks ago. Splinter in support of hearts. So the opening bidder has a game-forcing hand, a very good hand, probably 18, 19 points, with 4-card heart support and a singleton spade. We want you to know about that because we want you to know, if you're defending, what to expect in the dummy. All right. Well, I think this person had heard everything that they needed to hear. They made a slam try. They asked for key cards. They were missing only 1 key card. And here they are in 6 hearts. All right. Well, now, by the way, I was not the one who perpetrated the brilliant deceptive play on defense. It was my partner who was on opening lead. His opening lead, rather surprising to me, was the Jack of Diamonds. It's like, oh, because dummy, with spade shortness and heart support, on a hand like this, dummy's known to have a real diamond suit, right? And dummy did have a real diamond suit. Dummy's diamonds were ace, queen, 5th. Now, I was sitting here over dummy. And I had, what did I have? 4 little diamonds, I think. Well, what did Declare do? Well, he hopped up with the ace of diamonds. He drew trump ending in dummy. And he let a small diamond off the board. What was his trump holding? At 10 doubleton. So you might be asking yourself, why is Declare doing this? Why isn't he inserting the queen of diamonds at trick 1 when he sees the jack lead? Well, Declare's thought was, there's no way in the world that the opening leader has the king of diamonds. He wouldn't lead away from the king of diamonds, especially in a suit that the opponents are known to have length in. Like, he would never lead from the king of diamonds against a slam, right? That would be insanity. And so Declare, again in quotation marks, knew that I had the king of diamonds. And he thought, if early on this hand, and remember, he'd already seen the jack at trick 1, right? So the only diamond that matters is the king. So he thought, I'll lead a small diamond from the dummy, And Kurt sitting over there here, I was actually, he paid me a compliment as a defender. He played a small diamond on the dummy, and I played small, which was what he wanted to do. He's like, oh, Kurt is known to have the king. If I play a small diamond off the dummy, he'll know that I have a singleton, and he wouldn't dare hop up with his king, because I would never make this play unless I was roughing a diamond, right? So he'll duck his diamond, and I'll make my slam, right? Well, I wasn't in on the joke yet. I had nothing but small diamonds to play, so I went small, small 10. Partner won the king of diamonds and cashed the setting trick with the ace of clubs. That was the key card they were missing. Partner had king jack doubleton of diamonds.
Wow.
And he knew that dummy had a real diamond suit on this auction. And he thought, well, he's like, I know that Declare probably needs a diamond finesse to make this hand, and it's going to work. Maybe I can talk him out of taking it. So he made the deceptive lead of the jack of diamonds from king jack doubleton, and Declare took the bait. So partner won his king of diamonds, cashed the ace of clubs, and it was funny, we had a kibitzer at the table who about fell out of his chair when he saw this. And he said, they gotta write that up in the bulletin. So, you know, now they didn't get that lead at the other table, and our teammates made 6 hearts very easily. They didn't get a diamond lead, they drew trump. They knew they had to lose the ace of clubs, and they said, all right, it's a 50-50 slam. Either the king of diamonds is onside or it's not. They took the diamond finesse at 1. They came back to the table, they said, we're plus 1430. I said, we're plus 100. Really? They went down? Yeah, let me tell you about partner's lead. But the idea behind that is that you know, somebody, if you think that, so here the contract was actually always makeable. It wasn't hopeless. But if you think a contract is hopeless, you might need to pull a swindle. So, and guess what? If I'd had the king of diamonds, it would have worked because I wouldn't have played my king. Because I thought he would never play the hand this way unless he had a singleton diamond. So why would I play my king? I think it's going to get roughed, and now the queen is set up, right? So, had the king of diamonds been in my hand, this play would have worked. And he would have made a slam that, in theory, was impossible to make. Then the egg would have been on my face. So,
Wow.
anyhow, that's just kind of a fun thing. It's about that time. Do you want next time a little packet on some like leads and carding stuff?
Yes,
Because I was thinking I'd put that together, and we're going to be talking about cutting down roughing power, which is on this handout that you have from today. So there won't be a second handout on our main topic next time. But I do have a few things that I could assemble just on general like lead and carding practices, good leads, bad leads. I feel like you can never spend enough time on defense.